Beirut Lebanese army retirees scuffled with parliamentary guard troops as they briefly broke through a cordon leading to parliament in downtown Beirut during a rally Monday over their decimated monthly pay amid the country's economic meltdown. The troops managed to thrust the crowd back and fired tear gas, forcing the elderly retirees to turn away the street. After a brief while, they gathered nearby to continue their protest and demand higher pay. The rally came as banks in this crisis-hit Lebanon partially reopened Monday following a week-long closure amid a wave of heists in which assailants stormed at minimum 7 bank branches earlier this month, demanding to withdraw their trapped savings. The Organization of Banks in Lebanon had said latest Monday it was going on strike amid bank holdups by depositors and activists. Public sector workers and retired officers and soldiers frequently protest in Lebanon, demanding better salary and pensions. However, scuffles with active officers are a sign of the ongoing meltdown and growing chaos in the tiny Mideast nation. Lebanon's cash-strapped banks had latest closed for a prolonged period back in October 2019, for 2 weeks, during mass anti-government protests triggered by the crisis. That year, the banks imposed strict limits on cash withdrawals, tying up the savings of millions of people. The country's economy has since spiraled, with about 3/4 of the pop plunged into poverty. The Lebanese pound has lost over 90% of its cost against the dollar. The frustrations boiled over this month, with mad and desperate depositors, including one armed with a hunting rifle, started holding up the banks. One of them, Salih Hafez, broke into a Beirut bank department with a fake pistol and retrieved some $13,000 in her savings to cover her sister's cancer treatment. However, only a handful of bank branches opened Monday, accepting only customers with prior appointments for corporate transactions. The partial reopening was to continue indefinitely until banks can safeguard the safety of their employees. Crowds of anxious Lebanese gathered around ATM machines. "I've been here for 3 hours, and they will not let me in or schedule an appointment," Fadi Al-Asta told the Associated Press. Exterior a bank department in Beirut. "The security guards can let us in one at a time and check for weapons. Is not that their job?" George Al-Hajj, president of Lebanon's Federation of Bank Employees Syndicates, said branches have downsized to have a larger number of security guards per branch. "Our goal is not to damage anyone, but we wish to go to work feeling secure, Al-Hajj said. "We're also human beings." Tensions were simmering in the southern city of Sidon. State security forces armed with assault rifles stood exterior some bank branches. Some police officers and army soldiers, whose salaries have lost over 90% of their value, unsuccessfully tried to crack into a bank department to gather tiny cash bonus recently granted by the government. Depositors Outcry, a protest group that supported bank heists to retrieve savings, said Monday it was committed to a war on the banks, but that it had also called for a meeting with the bankers to discover solutions so that depositors can live with dignity. "We will continue organizing actions, including powerful actions that'll target and shock the banks," said the group's media coordinator, Moussa Agassi. Lebanon's talks with the International Monetary Fund on a bailout have progressed sluggishly, with authorities failing to implement critical reforms, including restructuring the banking sector and lifting banking secrecy laws. Latest week, a visiting IMF delegation criticized the government's slowness to implement desperately needed financial reforms. For more emergency news, subscribe.